Today we present the summary of the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. Last week, we already reviewed another book by Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass, of which I leave the link above, in case you haven't seen it. But today we will talk about the following book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. This is a book that, in my opinion, is well worth reading because of its approach, and because I think we can all learn some good lessons from reading it. It is a much less academic book than other books, such as those by Tony Robbins and Napoleon Hill. And that is actually why I find it so interesting. Now let's go to the summary. As I have already told you on some occasions, money is perhaps one of the topics that occupies more time in our minds on a daily basis. We think about bills, salaries, loans, purchases, etc. Money is everywhere, and yet we rarely stop to think about how we feel about money. That's why books that talk about it are so important. In this case, Jen Sincero has experienced firsthand what it means to have real problems with money. Therefore, I think her testimony is very good because we can learn many things from her case. Money is the root of all problems. Rich people are stupid, rude, and greedy. Or this is my favorite. If he or she has money, it is because they must have done something wrong. They probably haven't earned it honestly. How many of these phrases have you ever heard in your environment? I hear them a lot, and sometimes I have even said them myself. If this also happens to you, you are in luck. Because the core of You Are Badass at Making Money, it's based on discussing phrases like these. We all love having money and not worrying about it. But we feel bad saying that we love money out loud. It's also true that we may seem a little out of our minds if we go out on the street and shout out that we love money. But hey, you know what I mean, right? If we spend the day surrounded by thoughts like those of the phrases I just told you before, we end up believing that they are true. If we believe, consciously or not, that we are not worthy of financial success, then we will not take the necessary actions to improve and achieve the financial freedom we are all looking for. Jen Sincero makes it clear, when the mind is aligned with the goals, then things will work out. But the problem is that most of us don't have our minds aligned with those financial goals. We all want money, but we just don't have the guts to take the necessary steps and make the necessary decisions to meet our goals. In the book, the author gives us some keys in this regard. 1. Focus on the why, not on the why not. We live in a society where we are made to doubt constantly, and we are trained to think about everything that could go wrong, or everything that has gone wrong in the past. That's why it's really important to keep our heads focused on why we want to achieve those financial goals. Why do we want to have money? What exactly would we use it for? How would be our day-to-day life when we have it? What feelings and sensations will we experience when we have it? Responding all these kinds of questions help us focus on the why. This way, when things go uphill, we will be able to keep walking, because we will be clear about where we want to get to, and we won't care about the stones in the way. 2. See fear as a friend, not as an enemy. We are where we are because of all the decisions we have made in the past and everything we have done. But if we want to reach a different financial reality, we will have to jump into the void, into the unknown over and over again. The problem is that we are terrified of the unknown. We are terribly afraid of not knowing what will happen if we take this or that decision. But it is precisely that leap into the void, that temporary not knowing, that will make us grow and take us forward. Therefore, fear has to become our compass. If we are afraid of doing something, that means that we are on the right track. A great piece of advice that is given is, if you want to grow at a great level in your life, do something every day that scares you, then you will start to see incredible changes in your life. 3. Be grateful with everything that you have in life. This not only applies to money, because being grateful in life is one of the most powerful characteristics of a person's character. That said, the author of the book argues that being grateful changes our perspective. We need to go from seeing what we lack to seeing all the abundance around us. This way, if we focus on what's good in our life, it will ultimately attract even more good things to us. 4. Choose the and, not the or. Should I have a coffee every morning, or pay the Visa bill? Should I go on vacation or save for my children's college? Should I donate money to my favorite NGO for a cause that I love? Or should I go to dine out with my partner? When we choose between one thing or the other, we turn our relationship with money into something painful, something we have and hate. We don't always have to choose between those things. We can have both. And we need to think it is possible. The goal is to get it into our heads that we are money-making machines, that the money we need is out there and we just have to go out and get it. That's why we don't have to choose and we can do one thing and the other. The key is to choose the and instead of the or. If we want to, we can. Of course, don't tell me now that if a Ferrari or a Porsche, and that I would rather have both cars. That is a bit extreme. In the end, we are talking about other types of purchases. But of course, if you are at that level, perfect. Just call me and let me know how to speed up the process. All of us would want to know your experience. 5. Decide to be rich instead of just wanting to be rich. Many people want to be rich, but there are few people who actually decide to be it and take action. If we want to be rich, the most important thing to decide is to actually be rich. Making that decision means not making excuses, putting aside fears and isolating distractions. So, when the time comes to take that leap into the void, to double our fees, to ask for that loan to finally launch that business, or to ask the boss for a raise, we will be committed to jump and we will not back down. We must decide and don't give up until we get it. 6. Play to win, no, not to lose. We haven't come to the world to survive, but to prosper. That is why we must think of our life as a life in which everything is possible, not a life in which it is better to play it safe, because this kind of mindset won't allow us to prosper and have a better future. We must learn to see life beyond what we have in front of us right now, be clear about our goals and our dreams, and go for them. In conclusion, I think this last sentence is a great way to end the book, and that is why I recommend you to read it. And not because it will uncover concepts you have never seen before or because it will help you learn. Many of these concepts are found in most books on personal finance, but the author Jen sincerely knows how to communicate her ideas and puts them in your head, makes you react and go out and take action. She really shows passion for changing the world, or at least your world and your life. And that seems so important to me. If you haven't read the book, you have to read it. And that is all for today. I hope you liked this summary of it a lot. If so, and you liked it, please leave a like. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet and turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss anything that I upload. See you next week. Thank you very much for watching the video, and remember, smart work is the key to success.